Good morning. This is the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Transport Briefing for Monday, March 27th. A look at precipitation over the past week. You can see widespread light to moderate precipitation, locally heavy across the higher terrain of Utah and parts of western Wyoming. The percent of normal for this time of year on the right-hand side, so you can see much of the region in that bluish to purple area had about 150 to 300% of normal precipitation for the week, drier than normal across the far western and northern extremities of the Great Basin. Our fuels overall, 100-hour fuels, remain quite moist, as would be expected this time of year. A bit of drying in the far south, but still above 10% on the 100-hour fuels. Looking at recent snowfall on the left over the past 72 hours in the yellows to orange, about another 6 to 12 inches of new snowfall, lighter amounts in the blue, and the overall snow cover quite extensive from the higher terrain of Idaho and western Wyoming, all across the mountains of Utah and much of Nevada, as well as the Sierra Front. Again, near record snowpack levels. We'll look at those snowpacks here in terms of water equivalent percent of normal. And these numbers in a lot of these areas of Nevada and Utah are at record levels, 200 to 280 to almost 300% of normal snow water equivalent. So that's just those are just mind-boggling figures. And even up in our our driest areas, or at least depth of snowpack compared to normal in the central Idaho mountains, still 110, 117, 115% of normal. So everyone enjoying abundant snowfall, especially central and southern areas. And the pattern continues that trend. Unseasonably deep low pressure off the Pacific Northwest coast, keeping cold air pinned in across the western third of the country. Temperatures 15 to 25 degrees cooler than normal. Waves of precipitation rotating in around this low. So for today, a brief lull by late this afternoon as the storm system that affected much of the eastern Great Basin this past weekend moves out. But you can see the new storm system already moving into California, Oregon, into far northwest Nevada. Nothing on the 7-day. See the winds from the south increasing ahead of that next storm system. Lighter winds further to the east. Minimum humidity is quite high, although for the first time in a long time, we're seeing very dry conditions down in the southern third of Nevada, getting to that single-digit relative humidity down there. Vertical mixing heights, excellent everywhere. If you are doing a prescribed burn and if your fuels are dry enough, you have excellent smoke transport conditions, as would be expected with a storm system. Now pushing in right off the southern Oregon coast, pushing in tons of moisture here and precipitation across parts of Nevada, Idaho. Nothing on the 7-day here. Again, still with those dry humidities down in far southern Nevada. Not that much of a cured grass crop or carryover fuel from last year, but still quite dry. Otherwise, higher humidity in all other areas. And look at those transport winds coming out of the south with that around that powerful low pressure system in the brown here. Transport winds of over 50 to 60 miles per hour and 30 to 50 mile an hour winds extending all the way across Nevada into parts of Utah as well. Mixing heights looking great. There is that slow moving storm system very slowly plodding along, pushing copious tons of moisture into the Great Basin in most areas. You see the humidity is finally picking up in southern Nevada, going from the single digits to above 30%, otherwise high in all areas. That belt of strongest winds with that cold front, you can see in the purple to brownish shades of 40, 50 miles an hour pushing further eastwards. Again, excellent mixing heights to be expected this time of year. 3-day precipitation totals seen here. Dark green indicates about a quarter to a half inch of precipitation. Somewhat higher amounts here in the central mountains of Idaho. So you can see another 5 to 10 inches of snow in these dark green to bluish shades, except much higher in the Sierra Front. And then on Thursday, trough low pressure centered across the Great Basin. Unseasonably cold, continued moist conditions with showers, mostly of the snow variety. Snow levels probably dropping down below 4,000 feet. We don't have that much terrain below it. You can see here on the right-hand side, although not in our area, but these drier winds across parts of New Mexico, prompting high risk for winds in those areas where, of course, fuel conditions are quite different from the rest of the West. And then on Friday, that storm system moves out, just some lingering moisture through here. But the next storm system, as has been the case all winter, never too far behind as it pushes into Idaho with moderate precipitation, mostly in the form of snow, once again this weekend, and dropping down towards the I-80 corridor by Sunday. And a lot of this will drop further south early next week. So the cool, moist pattern continues. Precipitation, this is Thursday afternoon through Saturday afternoon, and then late Saturday to late Monday. You can see most of the northern central areas continuing to get decent amounts of precipitation. These are the 7-day totals covering just about everywhere except for far southern areas of Nevada. And the 8 to 14-day outlook, April 3rd through the 9th, continues that much cooler than normal weather pattern, also more moist than normal for the Great Basin as well. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.